Confusion is real in this country. The fact that we listen to the media, the fact that people use the terminology president-elect when that's not even what we use, that's not what he is. We have a president of the United States. His name is Donald J. Trump. My name is Shirley Husar. You are watching Shirley's World. Thank you guys for sharing and liking this video. Thank you for your patience and your love and your support and your understanding of listening to true voices that want to penetrate this country. Now, right now in this country, we are all divided. We call ourselves America, right? This is America. One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We're Americans, right? Democracy. What democracy do you see in this country right now where there's so much talk from abroad, from foreign news to local news to news that you don't even know what is real and what is not real? Well, I'll tell you what is real. What is real is an uproar of people who voted for a president whose votes were stolen and who are not whining whose votes were stolen. Because Joe Biden didn't have anybody show up at his election. Nobody turned out. Thinking impaired, thank you for showing up. Nobody showed up for Joe Biden. But they've got this machine that turns on and continues to vote for these 70, 80-year-old elected officials. Now, this is just not about Joe Biden. Let's not get this twisted. I want you to really think deep and long. I want you to think deep and real. Because if we think deep and real and be honest with each other, stop lying and stop saying racist and stop saying, oh, you jealous, or oh, y'all just hating. Why don't you just concede? No. Because see, what is going to happen for the Black community is about to be devastating. You are truly being replaced, and you're too ignorant not to know that because you're not reading. You're not seeing the historical patterns that we get from the Democrat side, that we get from people who support socialism and anarchy in this country by allowing other people in this country who are replacing your communities. Look what happened in Detroit. Detroit, Michigan was Black, honey. Detroit, Michigan was Black. What happened to Detroit, Michigan? I'm going to tell you what happened to Detroit, Michigan. I'm going to keep it 100 with you. What happened to Detroit, Michigan was they allowed the Syrians and the immigrants to come in there. And when we were losing our homes during the forecast of foreclosures in 1988, in 2008, 2009, 2010, they gave illegal immigrants families, locations, and housing that they took from Black people. In Los Angeles, California, the Chinese and hidden organizations and groups would drive around in white vans, tinted windows, and predate after Black communities and go to Black people saying, I'll pay you all cash, just get out. Just get out. And there were a generation of Black people who don't read and took the little crumbs from the table and put themselves in a homeless position because the money that you took only lasts so long. The money that you put in your pocket only lasts for so long. And then what happens? You're homeless on the street. 4 people a day are dying. KNX Radio said the other day, we have 4 people a day dying of homelessness in California on the streets, dead. You think anybody care? And when you look at the fact that 90 to 80% of the Black people in California, Black, are homeless, that's a serious issue, my people. See, the problem is Black people and white people don't read. They don't read. They don't check the books. They don't understand history. They don't see patterns. They don't see true democracy. Many of you need to communicate with your family members and have a serious one-on-one. And you may not want to talk to them because you say, you know what, I really don't like talking politics. Look, y'all, I don't even want to let them know I'm a Trump supporter or for or anti for it. But no. I need some of y'all to wake up and talk to these ignorant ass people that you related to. And sit them down and let them talk and then break them down some real cheddar on the cheese. Break them down some real knowledge of history and repeated patterns that are about to commence under this alleged new administration if we as a nation of people do not rise up, do not wake up to the fact that they're trying to steal this country from the American people. Because there's no way in hell a man who can get 20,000 people in a rally all of a sudden wins by a landslide of votes. And y'all just happy and dancing in the street. Y'all have conceded. What does this mean for descendants of slaves? I'm going to tell you what it means. It means you Negroes get nothing. Because the man told you when he spoke to Ice Cube, when y'all went out clowning Ice Cube after this election, he said, I'll get back with you. What the hell does that mean? Black people, Negroes, descendants of slaves, African American descendants of slavery. You Negroes tell me, what the hell does that mean when a white man who runs this country in different aspects for 47 years, who plays games, who incarcerated your cousin, your uncle, your aunt, your nana, your grandpa, for whatever reason, for an ounce of weed or for some bull crap, you tell me who says to you, I'll get back to you before I give you something. And y'all are happy. Man, y'all some ignorant ass people. Ignorant ass people. And we sit back and we absorb it and we agree with it and we acknowledge it. This has to stop. This really has to stop. So today, I took my ass from California. I got on a plane and I came out to Atlanta, Georgia, hoping there would be more of my people because Atlanta is known for having black people. But we still had white people at the rally. Where are the black people in Atlanta that we could have a conversation with? Where are you Negroes at? Why weren't you at this rally, pro or against? Why couldn't we not have a conversation of the realism that's going on in our communities? Because when I tell you I had to lay it down thick and loaded at this event, that's what I had to do. So I'm going to show you a video of me speaking at the rally. At this rally called Stop the Steal, put on by Ali. Go follow Ali on Twitter. First name, that's it. Ali. Ali. Ali Alexander put this event together. He's the leader in the movement of Stop the Steal. And I want you to really take note to what I said and in what I'm going to tell you what we need to do as a nation of people, because we have to have embedded commands embedded into our people to wake up. To wake up. Because keep in mind, the Democrats is the one that won't sign no money. The Democrats is the one telling you can't go outside in California. You on quarantine. But you continue to talk about Trump and Republicans, and you're excited. You're excited. Man, something mentally ain't snatching right with that. It's just not right. There needs to have clarity. NEDDA, amen. That's sick. And that's sick. That's some sick stuff, BC, that these people just still don't wake up. You saw the rally on TV, French. Thank you so much for watching that rally. Well, let's show the video for those of you guys who were not able to attend that rally. And I want to show you the rally myself. And let's hear it. It's featured here on Breitbart. But I want to show you the rally myself. And let's hear the voices of the people.
What's up, Georgia? My name is Mike Coudray. We have been going across the country to stop the steal, to fight for the man that saved this country in 2016. I just want to know, is this fight over? We got more to go! The man fought for us day after day, time after time. He survived the media, the slanders. He survived the Russia hoax. Remember that? He survived the impeachment hoax. He got COVID and kicked COVID in its ass. Now it's our time to fight for our president. And this fight is long from fucking over. We came down to Georgia to let everyone know that recount is a sham. It was a sham from the beginning. that Secretary of State, there was no signature audit. They pretended that they audited the vote. It was a lie. Are we going to stand for that here in Georgia?
I want to say this much to you. Another thing that's interesting about this recount. Y'all know dead people be voting, right? Dead people vote, illegals vote. And in California, they got that machine. I don't know how y'all voted in Georgia, but they got that machine. And that damn machine be changing people's votes. Y'all remember the television show Scandal? And then Scandal would show how they would change. That was the first season of Scandal. The scandal was really the truth about how the president never won that election. That they changed the votes so that he could win the election. Okay, so now we have a man who won this election who told you, you ain't gonna get nothing. I'll get back to you. And y'all dancing in the street. Let's hear this video.
My dead body. This election is one of the most important elections this country has ever seen. There is one man standing in between the evil forces trying to take this country over and the God-given patriots of this country. There's one man and one election. We are at that time right now. So there is no giving up. There is no backing down. There is one thing we know, and that is to fight for this God country. And we're long from over. We'll be in every state if we have to. We put 200,000 people in Washington, D.C. Next time we'll put 1 million. Thank you guys so much. God bless you all. Keep the fight. USA, 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 USA.
All right.
Everyone, Shirley.
America first.
America first. America first. America first. America first. America first. America first. America first. America first. America first. America first. America first.
These people are anti-America. They're anti-America. When I tell you there are communists in this country, there are people who are criminal, there are people in this country who have media lying to you about this election. Will you let them take you hostage? Will you let them take your country? Then we need to triple this fight. We need to get more of us out. This is our democracy that we are fighting for. My name is Shirley Husar. I'm from Los Angeles, California. In 2016, I was the first African-American woman to stand for President Trump, to speak in behalf of I made U.S. history with my sons behind me. We had less than 25 African Americans in this country at that at that Republican National Convention. But the Democrats want to tell you that every black person is not for Trump. That's a lie. They stole our votes. We tripled those numbers, but you don't see them in the number of the polls. You see them in the crowds. You see them in the audience. But the media want to say that blacks don't like Trump. That's a lie. That's a lie. And when I tell you, hold your phones up. Everybody hold your phones up. Share with your friends. Share with your families. Get the word out there that democracy is real. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, stand for justice and tranquility, domestic tranquility. Where's the tranquility in all of this? Where do we have it? Kamala wannabe Black Harris. She wants to be black. Let me tell you who I am. I am a descendant. Listen, I am a descendant of slaves. My grandfather, my great-great-grandfather is from Georgia. do not rule by immigrants or illegal immigrants. I was brought here as commoditized good trades and service, but we built this country together. We are not divided. Are we divided? Are we divided? Are we afraid? Are we scared? Come on now. Now you listen to me. When you leave here today, you go on your social media, you let them know that we are real in this country. We will not live by the democracy that they're trying to put us under. A regime of foreigners, immigrants, illegal immigrants, migrants, other people in other countries that are dictating our votes and our numbers. Is that America? No. We want that to be America. Then now is your time. You cannot be afraid. You've got to infuriate the people in your community, in your families, in your neighborhoods. You have to wake up. You need to rise within you. This president that we have is historical. It's unbelievable. It's a president that we've never had. I have been a Republican all of my life. I didn't just walk away. I've been a Republican all my life. And as a Republican, I stand united with my family and with my friends and with my new Republicans to tell you to stand fast in prayer, stand fast in hope, and don't live in fear. 4 more years. 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 Now listen. Homelessness and sickness is raging across this country because of the Democrats. In California, we're down to 6% blacks. There are no African American people. Listen to me, I'm not lying to you. There are no African American people in Los Angeles right now. We are dying by the breed. Homelessness is tragic for blacks and white Americans. And we need to change that. Bubonic plague could be coming back. Hepatitis A could be coming back because they don't believe in the sanity and the sanctity of America. Joe Biden is talking about opening up the borders. Do you want the borders open? We don't want those borders open. Build that wall. Build that wall! 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 We want to understand that the blacks in this country who represent themselves, we have many descendants of slaves who stand in line with this administration, who understands what we are and where we come from. And we stand united with you, all of you. But do not live in fear. Live in hope. Have the opportunity to tell your friends that this democracy, this country will not bow down easily. We will not go without a fight. We will stand united because we are the United States of America. 4 more years. 4 more years. Thank you so much. God bless you, Urban Game Changers. God bless you. Thank you so much.
So that was today. I spoke at a rally in Georgia. I'm still in Georgia. And let me go back to the family so I know what you guys are saying. Okay. Hey, so yeah, that was today's rally. It was amazing. There was a lot of people there. It was a huge turnout. As you know, there's a movement across this country from state capital to state capital, not only for the recall of the vote, but also for the fact that we have a lot of structures or infrastructures that are not consistent. Every state votes differently. Every state's ruling is differently. You know, it's crazy. Pennsylvania had all these votes that got mailed in real early because of COVID-19. Do you believe that they would not count the vote until the day of the election? And then they said, oh, we're going to vote 10 days after the election. It was so much confusion and so much inconsistency. You know, if you work a job, we all have had jobs where you need to have thorough records and thorough understanding of what the company is doing. Because if you get audited, you could be in a lot of trouble. When it comes to voting in this country and the auditing of how we process the democracy of electing our officials, we ought to be ashamed of ourselves. We should surely, truly be ashamed of ourselves. Because of that, Because of that irresponsible action, that irresponsible understanding of ignorance of how the fact that we've got people telling us we got to vote by machines, and you can't even go back and say, okay, this is how they voted, because it's obviously just checked or punched through. I like when they used to have a little marker, like a stamp. I know that's old school, but you know what? In cases like this, you can pull those votes out and you can easily read them. Who's to say things weren't changed around? Now, if you guys agree with Biden's win, that's fine. But I'm sorry, ain't nobody showed up at that man's rally. Ain't nobody at his house. Ain't nobody was supporting this crazy man who would say crazy stuff. And I just don't understand. If you're an African American person, why would you vote for a man that would expand your opportunity to be incarcerated for your people? Expand and say, oh, I'm sorry. You're sorry. We still have black men and women today in jail and infused into the system that use us as beyond predators. This is modern day slavery. Do you realize that when a black person goes back to jail, when you go back to jail, or if you go to jail, you revert to slavery. So all the blacks that are in jail right now are slaves. Y'all look that up. Do your own damn homework. We've reverted back to slavery, and we've reverted back to acceptance of a man who perpetuated that to the next level. Privatized prisons. That was on a wonderful Camilla wannabe Harris and Biden. They put all these rulings together. So now you're nothing but back to what you were, commoditized good trades and service. Doesn't seem to bother you because you don't read. And if you do read and you support me and you say, Shirley, you know, I agree with you 100%, I don't care. Let me tell you why I don't care. Because you're not educating the ignorant fools around you. We've got to wake our people up more than what we're doing. We can't have other people dictate our voice, our ideas, our ideologies. That's what you're going to get with Kamala wannabe Black Harris, who claims to be black, historically black, with an Indian mother. Last time I looked up, a black child comes from a black mama or a black daddy. Somebody in that family has to be a descendant of slave. This lady has no descendants of slavery within her guidelines, in her DNA. Okay? So you tell me a child of immigrants, an Indian immigrant, is going to promote and expand and do executive orders for people of India, not black people. Y'all saw pictures of that woman with her family from India. Y'all saw that. And yet it didn't bother you. It didn't bother the fact that this woman is not American and you guys voted for her. And then you say, well, you know, Shirley, she's black. No, she's from India. Her whole family is from India. And yet you guys sit back and you're excited about this woman. Let me show you a picture of this woman and her family, because I think it's not real to you yet. It doesn't resonate with you yet that this woman is not Black American, but you think she's Black American. She's not Black American, and yet you guys want to glorify this woman. Okay, this is her family right here. This is her. Okay, this is Camilla wannabe Black Harris. You see her? This is her. This is her siblings. This is her father. Does he look Black American even though he got Jamaican in him? Does he look like he's a man that's supporting ADOS? And this is her mother. An Indian woman gave birth to this woman. Okay? Pretty looking Indian family. She's a pretty woman, Indian family. Okay? But she is not an African American descendant of slaves, so she will not be fighting for your best interests. Understand that, number one. Number two, she went to historical Black college, so you guys gave your birthright away. Sounds familiar, like a biblical story? Black people gave their birthright away to this woman who you're saying is going to be the next vice president of the United States. You just gave it away. You gave it away. And for what? Because as you can see, these people are not Black American. This is an Indian family. Okay? You see the mother is wearing the sarong. I think that's what they call it. And you see the dot over her head? That this is her family right here. These were not wealthy Indian people. Maybe they were. I don't know. But I will tell you this much. They're not descendants of slaves. But this is the problem with Black Americans. Y'all have accepted that woman. And you call her part of your family. And every time you look up, she dancing and singing and shouting for your best interest. Really? You really believe that? You really believe that? Because at this rally, I made it very clear. I made it very clear so that you can have a clear understanding that Kamala wannabe Black Harris is not going to work for your best interest. It's just not. These people are not fighting for you, and you're not paying attention.
Kamala wannabe Black Harris. She wants to be Black. Let me tell you who I am. I am a descendant. Listen, I am a descendant of slaves. My grandfather, my great-great-grandfather is from Georgia. I am an ADOS, an African-American descendant of slaves. We fought in this country along the white colonists. Yes, we are family. We are blood.
Now you have to understand, if you're an African-American descendant of slavery, somewhere there's some white folks in your bloodline. Because you know they used us, they raped us, and they bred us. They bred us and they brought us into this country. When they brought us in this country, they wanted us to multiply. And they snuck in our beds. Yes, they did. And they put a little bit of themselves in us. Okay? So that's why we're not 100% African. We're African American. We are a special cultural breed of people. And I said breed because they bred us. So if you are a descendant of slavery, okay, then you need to understand how you came about in this country and how your grandparents came about in this country. But if we do not have a voice of clarity and exposure, because I had to say this to these white people, I had to let them know. I am a descendant of slaves, okay? I had to let them know, because no one talks about the slave aspect of this. They want to act like we're all union and we're all family. No. Yes, we are, but we're not. Let's set some clarity. Let's set some tones on the table, okay? And that's what I was doing at this event.
We do not rule by immigrants or illegal immigrants. I was brought here as commoditized good trades and service, but we built this country together.
Now, notice how I had to let these white people know again. We came here as commoditized good trades and service. Y'all know that, right? You realize that you were brought here to make money for this country and build this country. You were never brought here to become Americanized, okay? That wasn't until the late 1800s. You were not brought here to say, hey, you too can become American, okay? No. You were brought here to make white people wealthy, right? Can we all say yes in the chat room? Yes. Thank you for the yeses, because that's what we were brought here as. But as time progressed and history changed, and we became one with them, and they realized they needed us as allies. They needed the numbers, because we had to fight against the Britain, and we had to fight against the Civil War. We were fighting, and they needed us in that fight. And then after we won the war, we still were enslaved through Andrew Jackson. See, unless we know our own history, someone will come along like Kamala wannabe Black Harris, and she will steal your birthright. Because that's what this woman is doing right now.
We are not divided. Are we divided? Are we afraid? Are we scared? Come on now. Now you listen to me. When you leave here today, you go on your social media, you let them know that we are real in this country. We will not live by the democracy that they're trying to put us under. A regime of foreigners, immigrants, illegal immigrants, migrants.
Now, have you guys paid attention to how this election has been part of Venezuela and all these other platforms that are out there that have teeter-tottered in our election, in our numbers, and in our community? If they're willing to teeter-totter in the election, what have they been doing to the Black communities? Where has the money not been going to us? Obama and Biden and everybody else getting a check? Why hasn't Black people gotten money? more money than what we should have. We should have even gotten more money under Trump. Afterwards, I ended up talking to these white people, and I told them, I said, let me make this clear to you. I told some of them in advance, I said, you don't understand black people. You think we're all the same? I said, but let me tell you something. You don't like the word reparations. Now, you want to get white people quiet in the room, say the word reparations. Trust me, they don't like that word. I said, let me educate you on what reparations is. Reparations is governmental programs. That came under Obama. EB-5 visas. EB-5 visas are visas given to immigrants and immigrants or migrants who come here, and then they're able to bring their families here, or they'll match what they bring financially here. So they've been given special rights of empowerment to infuse into America, that if they have money or we give money, we work together. They don't do that for black people. That's another form of reparations. What's another form of reparation? Oh, it's called an executive order. See, President Trump gave over $8 billion for the Native Americans for COVID-19, yet 30 to 40% of African Americans are the most affected by it. That's a form of reparations. President Trump gave China and the Pacific Islanders an executive order for money and rights and empowerment. That's called leverage. That's another form of reparations. See, now you may take that word and twist it any way you want it to be, but the fact that people are able to empower themselves, infuse themselves financially, socially, economically over a nation of people who have been here before 1619, you think that's fair? That is not fair, and that is not democracy.
Other people in other countries that are dictating our votes and our numbers. Is that America? No! Do we want that to be America? No! Then now is your time. You cannot be afraid. You've got to infuriate the people in your community, in your families, in your neighborhoods. You have to, you need to rise within you. This president that we have is historical. It's unbelievable. It's a president that we've never had. I have been a Republican all of my life. I didn't just walk away. I've been a Republican all my life. And as a Republican, I stand united with my family and with my friends and with my new Republicans to tell you to stand fast in prayer, stand fast in hope, and don't live in fear. 4 more years.
Now, let me say this to you. And I know you guys are going to hear me be redundant. Spirit, soul, body, and mind. Spirit, soul, body, and mind. Realize that's important in your life. Realize in Thanksgiving, they don't want you to be thankful. They don't want you to be with your family. They don't want you to celebrate Thanksgiving, to be thankful to be still alive, that you didn't die of COVID-19 this year. A lot of people died this year. A lot of people got very sick and didn't make it through it. A lot of people. You weren't one of them. You're still able to hear the sound of my voice. I want you to realize that as individuals, we need to wake up to understand the power that we have of spirit, soul, body, and mind. And so I want you to pray. And if you don't know how to pray, just say, Lord Jesus, listen to my voice, and just talk to God. You don't have no special prayer. If you don't know no scripture, ain't the end of the world. Just talk to God. Tell him how you're feeling. If you're happy, if you're sad, if you're infuriated, you need to let all that anger out. You need to let all that energy out so that clarity can come within your life. You do not live in fear. God is not giving you a spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind. Continue to seek to be a sound-minded person for your family, for your community, for your voice of whoever follows you. Because if you continue to have that sound mind, that coherent mind that is needed to be out there, you bring balance to the universe. But if you sit back and you live in a chaotic mindset and you want to be chatting and fighting and talking and gossiping, that's not going to help you financially, emotionally, or socially. You need to grow up because God needs vessels to use right now. He doesn't need people who are just about themselves.
4 more years! 4 more years! 4 more years! 4 more years! 4 more
years.
Now listen.
12 more years.
Homelessness and sickness is raging across this country because of the Democrats. In California, we're down to 6% blacks. There are no African American people. Listen to me, I'm not lying to you. There are no African American people in Los Angeles right now. We are dying by the breeds.
Now let me clarify that, because you'll say, sure, yes, there are black people in California. Yes, but we're down to 6%. Now, when I grew up, there were 40% to 30% blacks. That's a lot of black people in California. But black families, black people, black culture, historical descendant of slavery people are being taken over and who are being washed out. We are being annihilated, people. Okay, KNX Radio said 4 people a day are dying. I had to inhale that and go, oh my God. This is some real stuff. Well, they are really on a major move to eliminate us. Do you understand that? You're on the verge of extinction from state to state to state, and that they are replacing you with a lower class of people. A third world class people think they're better than you. These third world ass people walk around California with their little go-karts, ain't nothing but maybe 5'3", and they look at you like you less than, and you allow them in California. You allow them to grow in this country. We don't need any more immigrants or illegal immigrants. We need to fix what we have in this country. We need to resolve the issues in this country, and then we can open up these borders. To me, they ought to close all of them and tell them people, go back and fix your own country, and let's fix our own.
Homelessness is tragic for blacks and white Americans, and we need to change that. Bubonic pain could be coming back. Hepatitis A could be coming back because they don't believe in the sanity and the sanctions of America. Joe Biden is talking about opening up the borders. Do you want the borders open? We don't want those borders open. Build that wall! Build that wall! Build that wall! Build that wall! Build that wall!
And when I tell you that black people, God bless black people, because Jesus, they be working my nerves. Y'all Negroes work my nerves. I'm going to tell you right now, because too many are damn ignorant. And white people are ignorant too. I'm sick of ignorant people. I'm sick of people that don't read. I'm sick of people that say, well, you have to understand their suffering. I don't care a damn about how everybody else is suffering and we not. How is the fact that black people will fight for other third world people but won't fight for their own? I just don't understand that. Kamala wannabe Black Harris is fighting for immigration and illegal immigration and opening up borders. And you guys are excited. Oh, you're just so excited. Sad. Really sad.
We want to understand that the blacks in this country who represent themselves, we have many descendants of slaves who stand in line with this administration, who understands what we are and where we come from. And we stand united with you, all of you. But do not live in fear. Live in hope. Have the opportunity to tell your friends that this democracy, this country will not bow down easily. We will not go without a fight.
Now, I'm telling you, when I tell you white America is infuriated, and you may not see it in the media because the media is promoting their own propaganda. Every time you post anything of Republican or Trump or conservative or anything that is not for their movement, they put disclosures. You notice that on Facebook and on Twitter. But let me tell you something about white America, because this is white America. I don't care what nobody's saying. Let me tell you about white America. They're going to bring out them hillbillies in the South. They're going to bring out all these little Southern people, because I'm in the South right now. And they ain't too happy. I'm going to tell you right now, these little rednecks in the malicious groups, I don't know what's going to happen, because I don't know none of them. But I know in my spirit, something's telling me in my spirit that this is not going to be good for America, because it's going to be an outpour and an uprage, because you have let these other people come in this country, like Camilla wannabe Black Harris and Biden with ADD. Biden got Alzheimer's. Y'all know that. I'm not being facetious. I'm being honest with you. When somebody tells you, I'm going to get back to you, I'm gonna get back to you. How you gonna get back to me when my people ain't got nothing to get back to? And you guys celebrated that? Mm-mm. There's a new uproar. This is a new rise in America. And we're going to end up going to the Supreme Court. So you're probably saying, Shirley, where are you going with all this? Let me cut to the chase. We're going to the Supreme Court. They're going to recall a lot of these votes because understand that we still have not had these votes certified. So no matter what you're reading and what you're hearing, we're not certified. There's no such thing as president-elect. Okay? He's not running this country. He's not dictating this country. This country still has a president, and his name is Donald J. Trump. And he can do an executive order. He can change and manipulate or do whatever he wants as president because he is still president. And he's not conceded, and he's not going to concede because his attorney team is out there. And they're exposing more and more of this fraudulent voting process because it just doesn't make sense for somebody that couldn't get nobody at a rally. And this man got hundreds of millions of people at his rally and he lost. Makes no sense.
We will stand united because we are the United States of America. 4 more years. 4 more years. Thank you so much. God bless you. Urban Game Changers. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Man, what I'm telling you, the more we wake up, the more we grow, the more we learn, the more we're on fire. But it's too many damn ignorant people for me. So that's why all the time y'all say, sure, you ain't doing no videos. Look, y'all follow T West. You follow Afro Synergy News. You follow, I think Kiki still do more videos than me. I love my Kiki Green. Y'all follow them folks. Follow them because those are my people. I love them people. And there's many other you guys out there too. I may not mention your name. Dinus. I'd love Dinus. There's many of you guys are out there, but I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to come out when I want to because I'm tired of trying to educate poor Black people. And then they don't share the video. Y'all not having conversations. You're not waking up your own community. We have to wake up our community to understand that we're not going to get anything out of this administration unless we tell them what we want on both sides. If it's Trump's administration or allegedly the future Biden administration. Because it doesn't matter. We're still Black. We still got needs. We're still homeless. We still need money, right? We still need Black businesses, right? We still need to be infused with wealth. We need money pushed into our communities. And we need to have a clarity of what kind of Negro are you? Because if you don't understand, I am a descendant of slaves, because there's a lot of people who said they Black. That's popular now. J-Lo just did a song that said she was Black. See, if you say you're Black, that's leveraging opportunity of wealth to come your way. They're leveraging themselves with us because they know our pain. They know our pain better than we do. But we need to promote a clarity, which that is why those of us who are descendant of slavery are identifying it clear. You are not like me. Doesn't mean that we dislike the Caribbeans or the Jamaicans or people from Belize or Jamaica or from India, but you are not like me. You don't relate to me. You don't have the same rights as me. You didn't contribute your bloodline in the same manner as me. You're nothing like me. So stop saying that you're Black, which is historically Black. Stop saying that, because I say to you, what kind of Negro are you? If you're Haitian, if you're Hindu, or whatever the hell you are, that is you. But stop leveraging off of me. I'm going to call your ass out. Now, the rest of you Black descendant of slaves who watch me, you Negroes, you stupid. You didn't let these people become your friend and had them become comfortable and complacent to steal your birthright. You let these assholes steal your birthright. And then they're able to say, oh, we're in the same fight together. No, we're not. Because you're able to leverage and use your position as an immigrant for wealth and power. Let's give an example. 2 Black people go on a job. One is from the islands. One is an American-made woman. Both of these women are Black, allegedly. Both of these women have degrees. Let's say they both have masters. Both of them went to the same university because the immigrant came here and went to a historical Black university. Both of them may be women who just graduated from college, and both of them are 4.0 students. But there's a difference. One of them is a Jamaican. And when she goes for the interview, she sounds just like the African American person. Now, keep in mind, they have to put someone of color in their office, someone of color. So they look at both of these women. Which women do you think they're going to? Are they going to pick the Jamaican or are they going to put the ADOS? Let me look in the chat room. Someone tell me. Now, I told you they both have exactly the same thing. The difference is one is ADOS and the other one is Jamaican. Someone in the chat room tell me, which one you think white America is going to hire? Are they going to hire the Jamaican or the ADOS? Which one? I'm waiting. Which one do you think they're going to hire? Because the Jamaican girl says, oh, no, 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 no. I'm not like her. I'm different. I am from Jamaica. And in my people, in my country, who do you think that woman or that person who's interviewing these two black women, dark-skinned, speak well, very educated, 4.0, graduated from the same university, which one do you think they're going to vote for? Which one do you think they're going to hire? Jamaican or the ADOS girl? Because the ADOS girl don't even know she ADOS. She don't even know the Jamaican girl is promoting the fact, I'm Jamaican. I'm not like her. How many times have you heard them say that? I'm not like them. Who do you think they're going to hire? I'm still waiting. Are they going to hire the Jamaican or are they going to hire the African-American woman? Let me look and see what the chat room's saying. Okay, Pam Jammin saying the Jamaican. Trip Hip Hop BC said Jamaica. Okay, who else does Jamaica? Donna Jones. Miss Jones says Jamaican. Okay, Matt Lean says the Jamaican. Brown said the Jamaican. Beacon said the unqualified white woman. You ain't playing the game right, boy. Okay, Emmett says I'll wait. French 2 says the immigrant. LR says Jamaican equals money, money. Coffee 2 Brown says the Jamaican. It has happened to me. Look at that. Here's someone in the chat room said it happened to them. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Who else says Jamaican? Pam says la la. So what's the answer? Because none of y'all said ADOS. It's the Jamaican. That is the correct answer. You know why they chose that Jamaican? Because we were oblivious. We were closed-minded to the fact that we lost our own power to these people. I have to admit, I think I was blinded too. Because I was thinking, well, they're from the islands, okay, but we all the same. We're all family. No, we're not. No, they're not. Because those people leverage your birthright for their benefit. They got the job interview just like you, but they got hired. And let me ask you this. Let's keep this game going. Now, this black Jamaican woman knows you. She don't hire you. Who do you think she's going to hire on to help her fight? Because now she's a supervisor. Tell me, what will the Jamaican woman and who will she hire? Will she hire more ADOS or is she going to hire more Jamaicans? Now you're going to chat room retired. She's going to hire what? Jamaicans or is she going to hire ADOS? Now you got a black woman in there. I'm waiting. Oh, Nerve says she's going to hire Jamaicans. What else is she going to hire? LR Moore says Jamaicans. Well, wait a minute. You just told me she's black. Is she going to hire some more black people? Some ADOSs? French says no, she's going to hire immigrants. Donna Jones came back again. She says Jamaicans. Coffee Brown too came back again, said it happened to her or him. I don't know if it's girl or guy, but more Jamaicans. I mean, it just keeps going. Who else? Marvin Beacon said Jamaicans again. Oh, hold up. Prime said she's going to hire the whole island. I'm going to hire the whole island to come here and take this country over. I'm going to hire more Jamaicans. I think I'm doing the wrong accent. Come back to the islands. Come back to Jamaica. I don't know if I'm doing that one right. I can kind of mix that one up with my African accent. I'm trying to do the best I can to help my people. I'm not like you. I'm much different. In my country, my people, blah, 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 blah. In my family, blah, 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 blah. But you black people, you poor. You don't understand hard work. You lazy. See, I'm not going to hire your people because you got attitude. I don't have an attitude. I'm going to hire the whole island. Matt Lean says Jamaican. Okay. And Beasley said Jamaican like crazy. They're going to go crazy and find every qualified Jamaican for the job. They'll make sure they're qualified, but they're going to be Jamaican. Okay, let's give another scenario. Let's say we in D.C. because God knows. If you ain't ever been to D.C., go to D.C. You got to go to Washington, D.C. Have you noticed, you'll see a lot of black people because it's known as Chocolate City, right? It used to be. Do you notice that the supervisors are from Africa or them islands, and the descendants of slaves are the latter? They're underneath these people. These Jamaicans and immigrants and Africans are your superior, and you are less than. Am I the only one that sees this? Have you noticed that? They make sure that those people are over you. See, if we're going to hire these black people, these Jamaicans, these Africans, they know how to talk to them. But we're not going to put them in an empowerment position. We're going to leverage the immigrants against you. Does anybody agree with me on this? Has anybody seen that? Put yes or no in the chat room. Yes, in the chat room. Now Coffee Brown said enough is enough. And I agree with you on that. But Chris Williams said, why? Why? Because white people feel more comfortable with them than us. And because we have given our birthright away. That is why. That is why, Chris Williams. You must have just came in. Wilson, excuse me. That's why. We've given our birthright to these people. And another thing, let me tell you, most of y'all don't even know what kind of Negro you are. You don't even know that you are descendants of slaves. And you need to clarify that. I let people know real quick. I am a descendant of slaves. I did not come here as an immigrant or an illegal immigrant. I came here as commoditized good trades and service. And every time you see a white person or another black person, you let them know what I'm telling you. Say to them, I am not, repeat this, I am not an immigrant or an illegal immigrant. I am a descendant of slavery. I came here as commoditized good trades and service. My people are in the blood of the ground. My people served this country. My people fought in wars for this country. My people date back before 1619. What did your people do for America other than come here for an opportunity to take advantage of what America has given you over me? Now you watch this video again and you rewind that and get that instilled into your DNA. Until you understand your rights and your empowerment, until you understand you need to be infuriated. You need to be infuriated that we are about to move into a regime that is about to truly strip and steal your birthright. You can forget it. Y'all can forget it because I am providing facts and services. You got to get down to the facts of the matter. Okay, so let's go back to, like I told you, you got these security guards or you got blacks who are not American, who put African Americans or who have no choice but having African Americans underneath them that are not their people, but descendants of slaves. Descendants of slaves are always the lesser than. That always bothered me when I would come to securities. I said, who's in charge here? I am in charge here. And they think that you're going to be all right. Because I said, well, is there an American in charge here? Because you are an African. Oh, that makes them mad. Because you called them out. You pulled back the veil. That's what I want you to start doing. Pull back the veil on these people. Don't be afraid. Call them out for what they are. Where are you from? I always say, where are you from? Oh. Then they get this kind of like their energy kind of pulls back, like their head and their body jerks back. Oh, I said, where are you from? Nigeria, Africa. I am from Kenya. I am from Jamaica. And they quick to throw it back at you. I said, oh, wow. Well, good for you. I'm a descendant of slave. My people are blood in this ground. Then they don't know what to say. Because you know what? They met power. Let that sink into you for a while. Many of you guys have a lot of power. You don't utilize it. You let these people come here and they think they're better and got it going on, and yet you sit back and you're silent. No, let me ask you this. You know you got 4 names, right? You got 4 names. You said, Shirley, what do I mean by that? Okay, you got 4 names. You got your mother's name and you got your father's name, okay, on both sides, right? But those 2 people have 4 names. So you got your father who has 2 parents, and your grandmother and your mother has 2 parents. Those are your 4 names. Your parents' names are your 4 names. Now, if I were going to chat room right now, put yes or no. Do you know your 4 names? Do you know your mother's maiden name and your father's mother's maiden name? Do you know your mother's father's name? And do you know your father's father's name? Put yes or no in the chat room. Put yes or no. What are your phone? I know my phone. You ain't got to tell me what they are. Let me say it again because some of y'all got confused. I didn't do that. So let me twist your mind back. Do you know your 4 names? Yes or no? Okay. You know your mother and you know your father, right? Yes. Let's say one name is Brown and the other one is Jones. Now, your father's last name is Brown, so your name is, let's say, Shirley Brown. That's not my name, by the way. Let's say Brown. But the Brown married a Ward, W-A-R-D. So it would be Brown and Ward, okay? The grandfather is Brown, the mother is Ward, okay? But then you got Jones, right? Okay, your mother's name is Jones from her father, but her mother's last name could be Johnson. So we have Jones and Johnson, Ward, and the other name I mentioned, Brown. That's 4 names. Do you know your 4 names? Write down yes or no. Yes or no. I'm looking for yes or no. Okay, Chris says yes. Service says yes. Coffee Brown says yes. Yes, that's true. Neba says yes. Okay, so you know your 4 names, but they're all from Italy. Oh, that's okay. I'm just asking you, do you know your 4 names? If you're a descendant of a slave or not, you're watching this video, you need to know your 4 names. Anybody else know their 4 names? Those are the 4 names you start with when you go to Ancestry.com and you learn your genealogy, not your DNA, your genealogy. From that genealogy, do you know? Now, here's where it gets twisted, okay? There's a lot of yeses. Now, stay with me. Stay with me. Do you know your 4 names? If you say yes, you said yes, right? Here's another twist. Donna says no. Donna, that's a problem. That's a problem, Donna. That is a problem. Session says no. Prime says no. Oh, that hurts my heart. I want you to stop right now. And everybody who, if you've got living family members, you need to know your 4 names. So I don't want to go from this. I don't want to pivot away too fast because I'm going to go too fast and y'all ain't going to get it. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. Here's you. Put yourself in a circle. Write your name down. Everybody get a paper and pen. Get a paper and pen. Everybody right now. Go ahead. I'm going to wait a little bit. Get a piece of paper and pen. I want you to write down you in the middle. Put a circle in your name. Put you. This is me. This is me. Then I want you to put 2 little lines out. Your mother and your father. Put their names down. Put your mother's maiden name. Not her married name. I mean, maybe she didn't marry him. Put your mother's maiden name. Okay? Now, the 4 lines come from, your 4 names come from those people. Take your father. You see, you got you and your mother and your father, left to right. Now, I want you to get a paper and pen and put your father's, mother's name and father's name. You need to know those 2 last names. Do you know those names? On the same side, the same thing. On your mother's side, you need to know your mother's name and your father's name. Okay? Those are the names. If you don't know them, don't feel horrible. You've got to learn that first. Because then it clarifies at least who you are. You are a descendant of your 4 lines. Now, hopefully I've simplified that enough for you. Let's go to the next level. You ready for the next level? Here's a twister. When were they born? Oh my God, you're kidding me. No, I'm not kidding you. When were they born? When was your mother born? When was your father born? When was your father's father born? When was your father's mother born? And the same thing on your mother's side and your mother's father's side. Put down yes or no. Do you know the birth dates? Put yes or no. Yes or no. Do you know the birth dates of those people? Oh, wow. Neva says yes. Chris says no. That's a hard one. I know I'm not expecting a whole bunch of yeses on this. Coffee Browns 2 says no. Who else says no? Service says no. Who else is saying no? It's okay if you say no, because a lot of black people don't know. Donna Jones says no. Who else says no? I need to know some more no's. Prime says no. Prime says no. Anybody else got some no? You don't know. Do you know the dates of their birth? Now, you probably say, Shirley, what's the purpose of this? It's a method to my madness, so stay with me. Okay. The reason why, another Brown says no. Okay. The reason why you need to know that, because that's how you prove you're ADOS. That's how you prove you're a descendant of slave. Okay. I know of 2 of them. Okay, that's good, Pam. That's good. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example on my line. I'm going to be honest with you. My father had me when he was really late. He was an old black man when he had me. So my father was born in 1920. He would be over 100 years old. He passed a long time ago. My father was born in 1920. I believe my grandfather was born in 1881. I always get between 81 and 83. My great-grandfather was born in 1854. Now, how I was able to prove this was through Ancestry.com. I was able to took my line, and every time I kept adding one of them on, it showed me, are you connected to this person through the Census Bureau? And I was able to figure that out. Now, what does that mean? If we go 1920, go up another line on me. I'm going to use me example. My grandfather, 1881. I got to go up one more line before the emancipation, right? Before the emancipation, 1854. Before the emancipation. Guess what? I'm a descendant of slave on that line. Then I had to go back to the other line and do the same way. If you got one line connected to the descendants of slaves, you are ADOS. You're an African-American descendant of slave. Does that make sense to you guys? Yes or no? Yes or no? Does that make sense? Yes or no? I need to know, does that make sense? I know all 4 names, but birthplaces of only 2. Okay, that's good, French. That's better than nothing. Because a lot of y'all got a lot of no's. So you got some homework to do. If I do another video, I want to see more yeses. Donna says, yes, that makes sense. Thank you, Donna. I appreciate that. Now, do you guys have any questions to those concepts? Yes, it makes sense. Donna, Pam says it makes sense. Do you guys have any question to that concept? Do you disagree or agree with that concept? I'm reading the chat room. Y'all always want to talk to me, so I'm reading now. French says, I know all 4, but birthplaces of only 2. Okay. Neba says, yes, I have it written down. Okay. Now, Donna says, I know 3 names, but not all birth dates. How do you find out the birth dates? Go talk to some other family members. Well, they still alive. You got some old people in your life. Please go talk to them. And if you don't know that, the Census Bureau has a lot of this information. And that means you need to go to Ancestry.com. And right now, I think they might have a special because Black Friday's coming up, right, for Thanksgiving. So I want to encourage you guys to use Ancestry.com for your genealogy, not DNA. Genealogy. Now, I believe in genealogy and DNA. That's a whole nother story because y'all talking about they're going to clone you. Who the hell want to clone you? I don't know about that. But I will tell you, you should at least know your genealogy. Okay, anybody else agree or disagree? What questions do you have? Okay, Donna says, I know all 3. I said that I read it already. Be careful, Shirley. I'm worried. What, Leroy, what are you worried about? What should we be careful about? The fact that we don't know what kind of Negro we are? That white people want to continue to suppress us to ignorance when we do it to ourselves? I'm asking you your 4 names, and most of y'all don't even know that. And yet you mad at the white man. Don't blame the white man for your ignorance. Stop telling me about white people. White people quick to tell you their history. Do you notice that they are quick to tell? I'm from Ellis Island. My grandfather. They are quick to tell you theirs. But when you a Negro that know who you are, they kind of get taken back. I said, oh, my family dates back to 1854. That's as far as I've gotten so far. I'm going to get back further. Stay tuned. But I'm at least able to tell them that. I'm also able to tell them I am a descendant of slave and that my father served in the military, my grandfather served in the military on both sides, because military records show you that as well. Military servitude records show you that as well. That helps a lot in you finding out those names and those dates of births. So, Leroy, I'm still trying to be careful, Shirley. You ain't told me why I need to be careful. So, Leroy, you just talking. Back up what you said. Don't post on this group. Let's see. Question. As a white social worker, okay, Trip Hip Hop BC, as a white social worker, it is appropriate to bring this up with Black Americans on my caseload and help them find this information. You have to have people who want to learn for themselves about themselves. And so instead of talking at people, talk with them. That's the problem. So you got to be careful when you talk to Black people. We don't like nobody telling us nothing. So if you're a white person, let me tell you what you need to do. You done lost us already. Okay? So I'm going to help you out, Trip Hop BC. When you talk to Black people about their inheritance or their heritage, ask them, tell me about your inheritance or your heritage. And they may not know. Then you break them through the format that I just gave you. But do it in a humble manner. Don't do it in an authoritarian manner. Because when you do that, you're going to lose a whole bunch of Negroes. Okay, French 2-2. My grandpa parents were fed for slavery when they were babies. Okay, how do you know that? You need to know those dates and that time. Okay, Prime says they can trace their family back to the 1700s. Honey, let me applaud you. Let me applaud you. And St. Herb has come on the scene. I sure appreciate you, St. Herb. I appreciate that. I found, French 2-2 said, I found no American Indians in my lineage. Nobody wanted to admit that there's a higher cheekbone in the Europeans. Okay? If you do your DNA, you might find some Indian. I found like 1.3. I don't know what difference that makes. I found Chinese and a whole bunch of stuff in my DNA. But I am 90% African, okay? And I have a large portion of Nigerian in me. I have Nigerian in me. And Sierra Leone in me. And some other stuff. But it's more important that you know your genealogy than your DNA. And the reason why it reverts to the money thing. This all comes back down to money, right? When we talk about Lincoln, and we talk about Special Order Number 15, you remember I've done videos on that. And when I tell you about how we talk about the Freedmen Bureau Bank, that they stole all that money out of, all those Black people who put money in there, it all comes down to money. Don't get it twisted. Okay, St. Herb said, Nigeria is a rich country. You too. Okay, I heard that. I deserve that reparations check. And remember, I told you reparations is real in America. It just doesn't come to us. It is used in other terms and terminology, right? It is used in the fact of governmental programs. Obama put a lot of programs for immigrants and illegals. He gave them a lot of leverage and empowerment over Black communities with money. Because reparations is a form of leverage. That's all it is. It's about empowering and infusing people to have an opportunity to become equal or one or in better of someone else. But with white American, it infuriates them for some reason to think that we want reparations when we were truly entitled to it. As a matter of fact, whites were given reparations under Andrew Jackson, under slavery, for their slaves when they lost their slaves due to the freedom of slaves. But the Blacks got nothing because of Lincoln's death. Okay, so you need to clarify that. Okay, French 2 says, I'm 1/3 Nigerian DNA. Okay, hello, my cousin. But what is more important? It's more important that you know your 4 lines. What is your 4 lines? Your mother's 2 names and your father's 2 names. And the birth dates of those names are essential for you to understand. Because if you've got the dates, some of y'all are scrambling right now. You can sign up for $19. $19 a month. It's actually right now, I think there's a special for $59 to sign up. But for $19 a month, you can play the ancestry game. I call it the ancestry game, where you put your name in, you put your parents' name, and they start calculating through their systems. They got all these platforms and stuff that they have in their computerized systems. Well, they'll look up your name and you put the birthdays, at least get your parents' name in. You'd be like, oh my God, I think that's my grandmother. I think that's my grandfather. And you start putting those dates and times in. And you question yourself, how many generations are you to the point you're past emancipation? Okay, what is that? 1885, 86. My dates might be a little off. Pray for me. But I'm in the right zone. So if you could prove that you are before the emancipation, you are an African American of just slavery. Does that make sense? Can we put some yeses or nos? What other questions do you have? Does that make sense? Yes or no? Yes or no? Put that in the chat room right now. I need to know yes or no. I got an amen. Thank you for the church. Coffee said yes, he did. And French 2 said we are owned. Okay, I need yes or no. Do you guys understand where I'm coming from and where I'm going with this? Because the revolution is real. Thank you, Prime. Prime says yes. Pamela Jammin says yes. Donna Jones says yes. Coffee Brown says yes. Because clarity of your empowerment is important. So when you have really intelligent conversation with people, don't feel that you can't come back. You know, especially when they start doing that. I call it the la 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 la. You know the la 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 la. Let me help you out. When they start saying I'm from la 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 and my people la 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 la, you let them stop and you go, good for you. I'm a descendant of slaves. My family dates back to, that's why that date is more important than the names. The names will get you to the date. And then you start calculating the date. I can date back to 1854. I'm a descendant of slaves. My people were brought here as commoditized goods, trades, and service. I'm not an immigrant or an illegal immigrant. You need to get your script in your head and in your conversation. And you will stop people from thinking that you are stupid or ignorant of your own inheritance. They go, oh wow, you know your history. This old white person will say. They go, oh my God, Shirley. Oh wow, that's wonderful. Like, what does that all mean? All that extra hype stuff they be going through. Oh, Shirley, that's so wonderful. I think it's wonderful. You know your inheritance too. Because see, this country was built on the back of my people. The blood is in this ground. I'm not an immigrant. But we're all immigrants. No, we're not. Honey, they brought me here to make money. They bred me. Were you bred like an animal? Oh no, I don't know. I don't think they bred black people. Well, that's because you're ignorant. See, it depends on what day of the week she catch me. She might me tell her the same way. I'll say, you don't know black history. See, if you know black history, you wouldn't speak in that manner to me. I got to the point, I'm just like, you know what? I'm tired of you people. I'm tired of people who just don't have no good common sense, who don't read. Hell, you can look up a YouTube video that'll give you history in 10 minutes, but instead you want to dictate to me about black history or black people, because you walked away or you did this or you did that. You have no clue of the suffrage of my people. But the funnier part is most of my own people don't even know themselves. Okay, Herb Saint says yes. Mom Ford says yes. NC Worker just jumped on board. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, MC. So for those who may have just on board, I was at a rally in Georgia. I'm still in Georgia as we speak in the hotel room. And the reason I spoke at this rally, because we're a Stop the Steal vote. Now, some of you may not agree or disagree, but I'm telling you, don't you find it weird that these same old ass people, black and white, get reelected when they sitting in office peeing all day on Depends, and they're not listening to you as the constituent. You can't get them on the phone. Your communities look like a piece of crap. And they get reelected every year by major numbers. And when someone younger in their 30s or 20s or 40s or 50s try to jump into the race, they lose. Don't you find that ironically weird? Now we're finding election fraud. Now we're finding election tampering within this country. And many of us don't speak up or say anything. We're thinking that people are saying, oh, Trump's jealous. He should concede. He should give up. No, he shouldn't. Because Biden already told you black people, he'll get back to you. Okay, if Biden allegedly has won, has he gotten back to any of you Negroes? Because none of you Negroes ain't getting a damn dime. Trump put together the Platinum Plan. Look up the Black Platinum Plan. Go online right now. Keep my show open and make sure you type in some notes to look at. It's on the White House website, the Black Platinum Plan, which he should have had 4 years ago. Okay? There needs to be money infused into our communities. Because when we come to try to sell our own businesses to our own people, we can't even get a loan. But them immigrants come here, and Tom Bradley helped the Chinese people out real big in the 70s and the 80s. I know I'm dating myself, but he came, black mayor, helped the Chinese and the immigrants. Didn't he help black people? Democrat. I think that more of our own people are our own worst enemy, and we don't even admit it. Look how terrible Baltimore is. Look how terrible Detroit is. Look how black DC is now immigrant DC. Y'all see these patterns? These patterns don't do anything for our people. But I'm telling you, if we don't hold the line of this Constitution of America today and let this historical placement take place, we are in trouble for America in the future. We really are. And if we don't wake up to that and find out that we're not in trouble, we got some serious issues. Donna Jones says, Shirley, just cut to the facts. Okay. Herb Saint says, Shirley, I'm in New Orleans area. Okay. Richmond, packed. Hold on. His back with Biden's position. He is empty. Brown bag at your door. You think you got what you ordered, but nothing is in it. Okay, that's right. It's not real. Let's see. Prime says Trump has $5 billion for blacks. And black folks says we don't about the crime bill too. Oh, no, Trump, we will give Jim Crow Jones. Yep, they went for Jim Crow Jones. That's what they wanted. Look, as much as I support the president of the United States, there are things in this administration that moved really slow for blacks for me. I still am unhappy with a lot of the leadership that allegedly represent us in the White House. I think people like me are let in but shut out. I'm gonna be honest with you, because I'm not non-threatening. I am threatening. Threatening in what way? Threatening in the way that I tell the truth of the people. I'm boots on the ground. The non-threatening Negroes kind of are more pacifiers. They're content. They kind of go with the flow. They don't really want to mess anything up for them and their image and their social media platform. I'm not all about that. I realize that black people need money. We need to be helped, and we need to be led with the right direction. But we've been misguided and misdirected in so many ways with this administration, and that's a whole nother video. But for those who just might chimed in, I am in Georgia. And I want to show you one more part about this video that I think it's important that you understand, that I want you to hear, because we have to have clarity as a united nation of people. Hold on a second. Let me just kind of fast forward a little bit more on my speech. Okay, here we go.
What we are fighting for. My name is Shirley Husar. I'm from Los Angeles, California. In 2016, I was the first African-American woman to stand for President Trump, to speak in behalf of I made U.S. history with my sons behind me. We had less than 25 African Americans in this country at that Republican National Convention. But the Democrats want to tell you that every black person is not for Trump. That's a lie. media want to say that blacks don't like Trump.
That's a lie. That's a lie. Let me tell you why. How many more Negroes do you see for Trump that work your nerves? All these young pop-up for wannabe Trump people. Trump, 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 Trump. Okay? Trump ain't gonna be president forever. And a lot of those people, I want to say to them, I'm glad you support the president, but you really need to understand democracy. And you really need to understand the historical ramifications of these parties and how they affect your community. To me, that's more important. As much as I support the president, I think it's more important that you understand that these parties and these leaders make decisions that hurt your community other than help your community. They infuse and empower immigrants and illegals like they did in Detroit. Y'all look up them videos where they said, we got to help these people. But yet black people were losing their home. Look at Flint, Michigan and all that dirty water. It didn't even, it's still dirty, even under Obama and Trump administration. See, we don't call these leaders out. So as much as I am a Trump supporter, I'm also a supporter of democracy. But I'm only one person. If you guys don't speak up and unite as a nation of people and go to these people and say, look, we're hurting in this part of our county, of our city, and of our district, and we want something done, ain't nobody gonna take care of you because you don't take care of yourself.
That's a lie. And when I tell you, hold your phones up. Everybody hold your phones up. Share with your friends, share with your families, get the word out there that democracy is real. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, stand for justice and tranquility, domestic tranquility. Where's the tranquility in all of this? Where do we have it? Kamala want to be Black Harris. She wants to be black. Let me tell you who I am. I am a descendant. Listen, I am a descendant of slaves. My grandfather, my great-great-grandfather is from Georgia.
Now you said, how you learn that? I learned that because I studied the Census Bureau, and I knew my father. Right? I put his birth date in. No, this is on my mother's side. I take this back. Let me switch deals. The Georgia side comes from my grandmother. My grandmother, when she did on the Census Bureau, she says her parents were both from Georgia. And that's why I went, oh my gosh, she was born in South Carolina, but my grandmother's parents were born in Georgia. And I said, wow, I have blood ties to this state. That is amazing. That is amazing. So I want to encourage you guys, you don't believe it, but you need to understand that your DNA is all throughout America, and mostly the South, like Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. Most of those are descendant of slavery. Louisiana, heavy Louisiana, Texas. You guys should be able to trace yourself somewhere in that region, somewhere on that side of the world. To be related to, so that you have clarity of who you are. So at Prime, we might be family.
I am an ADOS, an African American descendant of slaves. We fought in this country along the white colonies. Yes, we are family. We are blood.
Okay, now some black people don't like when I say that, but I gotta let white people know. Black people who are descendants of slaves are your cousin. So before you about to throw a rock at a Negro like this, realize I'm your ally. I'm not your enemy. I'm your cousin. I'm not an immigrant or illegal immigrant. I came here as commoditized goods and trades and service. You slept with my grandmother. You slept with my great-grandmother. My great-great-great-grandmother, all them black women back then, they end up breastfeeding these little white kids, great-great-great-great-grandparents. Come on now. You got to wake up white America to understand something. Look, white America, let me help you out. You done sucked the titty of a black woman, and you done been bred and raised your children with black children. And then we raised your children. Y'all go watch that movie, Help, and see how they had them white women let them black women raise their children. I mean, come on. History is there. But you can't let these people be in denial or put us in the category, well, you know, the blacks and the Mexicans and the Asians. Oh, no, 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 no. I'm more related to white people. I do not relate to Asians and Mexicans. I know of their existence, but I'm more related to white people because I'm descendant of black Southerners and white Southerners.
We do not rule by immigrants or illegal immigrants. I was brought here as commoditized good trades and service, but we built this country together. We are not divided. Are we divided? Are we divided? Are we afraid? Are we scared? Come on now.
Now see, this is how you get these white people all riled up. You let them know you are with them, but they need to be working to help you too. Okay? They need to be helping us get our voice out there too. They need to acknowledge that we are descendants of slavery, that the descendants of slaves are black people are more emotionally and historically and DNA connected to blacks than they are to Asians and Latinos. So when President Trump or anyone use those terms, well, you know, the blacks, the Latinos, the Mexican, no, 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 no. I'm not related to those people. Yes, they are minorities, allegedly, because they're growing in mass numbers. They're going to pass whites and blacks. But blacks are more historically and DNA connected to white Americans because of the South and because of slavery. But if you don't educate these other people about all that, they don't think they're superior over you. That's where y'all mess up.
Now you listen to me. When you leave here today, you go on your social media, you let them know that we are real in this country. We will not live by the democracy that they're trying to put us under. A regime of foreigners, immigrants, illegal immigrants, migrants, other people in other countries that are dictating our votes and our numbers. Is that America? No. We want that to be America. No. Then now is your time. You cannot be afraid. You've got to infuriate the people in your community, in your families, in your neighborhoods. You have to wake up. You need to rise within you.
You hear that? You got to rise within you. Now that's an empowering statement right there. That's an embedded command. You got to learn about embedded commands. You need to rise within you. I don't need you guys to be afraid. You don't always have to scream and yell and get people to wake up. You just show them facts, show them history, show them logic, show them outcomes. Look at the outcome of where blacks are today because of immigrants and illegal immigrants. Look at the outcome of where the black communities are compared to other communities, like within Los Angeles. We have Little El Salvador, Little Mexico, Little Chinatown. These people have come here and they've made their country little countries within America. They won't assimilate and they will not associate. They call themselves their own little entities and their own districts. And then the stupid state of California has signs all over the place with their district signs of who these people are. They're a division of America. Now, when it comes to black people, ain't nobody dividing nothing from you. Even the Africans, they have a little place called Little Ethiopia, Little Nigeria, in America, in California. They don't even want to be connected to you, okay? Even though a large portion of us are in the Baldwin Hills and in the Crenshaw District area, we don't call it Little ADOS, which maybe we should. We've allowed other communities to saturate and blend within us or either circumvent us. Little Koreatown was built on the backs of black women's hair. I still stand on that one. The little Koreatowns in California, all them Koreans came here and they took over the black billion-dollar industry of human hair trafficking. And we give them our money and we give them our hands and our nails to do. So thank you, all you black women, including myself, because now all these Koreans have set a presence in California and they don't respect you. They don't thank you. If anything, part of them are partly rude to you. And you take that rudeness from these people. You need to wake up. All of us do.
This president that we have is historical. It's unbelievable. It's a president that we've never had. I have been a Republican all of my life. I didn't just walk away. I've been a Republican all my life. And as a Republican, I stand united with my family and with my friends and with my new Republicans to tell you to stand fast in prayer, stand fast in hope, and don't live in fear. 4 more years. 4 more years. 4 more years.
Let me tell you why you need them 4 more years. Because we get that 4 more years, don't get it twisted. Black people need to say, where is that $5 billion black plan, Mr. Trump? Now, if he wanted to do right, he'd do an executive order, because an executive order automatically infuses and puts that into place. To me, the executive order needs to be put in place for the Black Platinum Plan right now. We don't need to have a conversation and let's have a discussion and let's put a bill on the table like Sheila Jackson in Texas and let's talk about reparations. Oh, no. Because see, you can circumvent all of that by doing an executive order. This is what I'm talking about black people don't read. And you know why we need an executive order? Because everybody else got one. Jews got one, Native Americans got one, Chinese and Pacific Islanders got one, Mexicans got one, immigrants, illegals, and gays got one. But blacks are still waiting in line to let all these people cut in front of them. That don't make no kind of darn sense. We need that. Trump said he's going to do a Black Platinum Plan. Well, just go ahead and do an executive order. Because $5 billion, how many of y'all would like to start a business? Say, yes, Shirley, I'd like to start a business. I'd like to get that money. How many of y'all got messed up credit? Yes, Shirley, you said my credit's messed up. Okay, well, they need to make an exception because we've had it hard. And they need to make it so that it is easy for us to qualify for that money and easy for us to access that money to push our ideas and to save our own communities. We don't need nobody to save us. We need money to save ourselves.
4 years, 4 more 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 years.
Homelessness and sickness is raging across this country because of the Democrats. In California, we're down to 6% blacks. There are no African American people. Listen to me, I'm not lying to you. There are no African American people in Los Angeles right now. We are dying by the breed. Homelessness is tragic for blacks and white Americans. And we need to change that. Bubonic pain could be coming back. Hepatitis A could be coming back.
And let me tell you, it ain't coming back, it's already existing. In California, there's a lot of hepatitis A. Remember I did videos on that? Remember I did that video on San Diego? I've been saying this for the longest, and I've proven that it is real. I've proven that it's real. And a lot of it is because these people come here, hold on, listen to what I'm saying to you. They come here, they're not vaccinated. They ain't clean. They come here sick with their diseases. And they move into our community and they make us sick. Now let that saturate in your mind a little bit. All these immigrants and illegals, y'all eating their food, you eating off the damn trucks, you eating off their little carts. Look at their nail beds. Look at the nail beds of these people. They're not clean. And yet you want to know why you got sick. Or you want to know how you got infected or why you're not feeling good. You need to stop infuriating these people with your money and your time. You need to walk away from immigrants, illegal immigrants, and migrants who are stepping over you and who are leveraging off the backs of your people. Wake up, because they are getting empowered and we're getting sicker and sicker, not only from their invasion into our communities, but we're getting sicker and sicker because we're allowing them to do what they do in this country. And that's a problem. So when you say that to white people, see, I'm talking to these white people, I'm telling them the truth. And I have to let them know, black and white people, because I'm not gonna go up there and go black, 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 black. Oh, no. You in the same bed as me, boo-boo. You in the same bed as the Negro. Stop putting me in the category of the Mexican and the Chinese. I'm in bed with white people. I should do a sermon called, I'm in bed with white people. Let me clarify this very clear, that the blacks and the whites in this country built this country. Chinese came later on. I'm sorry, y'all came out way later on. And the Mexicans came on later on. But the blacks and the whites built this country. And when you set the presence of clarity then you're empowering yourself to the same latitude and leverage as these people I'm speaking to.
Because they don't believe in the sanity and the sanctions of America. Joe Biden is talking about opening up the borders. Do you want the borders open?
Now, if you want to get white people wound up, tell them to open up the borders. These white people are scared about these borders being opened up. But yet, they're saying that they voted them in. White people don't want them borders to open up, and neither do we. Because as soon as they open up, they're not going to Brentwood and Beverly Hills and the high-end areas. They're coming right to the Negro areas. And they're going to push your grandmother and your great aunt out of their house. They're going to find a way to incarcerate the men of the black men in the house. They're going to find a way to say all black men are gay, because Hollywood is targeting after our black men. Y'all know that. Every time you look up some big, tall, black, dark, gay man, it's all in front of the camera because blacks are gays. Why don't they go after the Jews? Why don't they go after the Mormons or the Haitian? Why don't they go after or Mexicans or the Chinese? No, they perpetrate after us. Y'all don't see that. Why am I the only person in this room that makes sense? Y'all see that? I know some good people. Yes. Okay. Coffee Brown says yes. Nutter says yes. Okay. Pam says yes. There's other people out here. Y'all know what I'm talking about. These people perpetrate after us and make us more propaganda when we have to make it clear to white America. Oh, no. I'm like you. I'm like you, white America. And I don't want these illegals here either. They have to go. Because the first place they go, they come to me and they want an ally. And my stupid cousin JoJo let them in the community. Because I got a lot of stupid cousins like all y'all out there. Some of y'all just stupid Negroes. You let these people in your community. You befriended them. They came in with their stores. And I'm from blah, 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 blah. And then they're rude to you. They shoot you in the back like they did that black girl in 1980 in Los Angeles. And that Asian woman shot that black girl in the back and bought a store in a black community. They shouldn't be able to have rights to buy, but we don't have the money to buy in our own community. That's why this $5 billion plan is important, so that we can change history and take our communities back.
Want those borders open? Build that wall! 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 We want to understand that the blacks in this country who represent themselves, we have many descendants of slaves who stand in line with this administration, who understands what we are and where we come from. And we stand united with you, all of you. But do not live in fear. Live in hope. Have the opportunity to tell your friends that this democracy, this country will not bow down easily.
Look, let me tell you about white America. I keep saying white America because if it was black America, it'd be a whole nother America. But since we live in white America and they put all this suppression in this country, Ronald Reagan, Jimmy Carter, the Clintons, the Bushes, they opened up all these borders. They gave these people these visas and they never closed these borders. In lieu of that, we help propel these people because we welcome them. We always welcome. Oh, come on, eat with us. Come on, let's be family. We don't need these people to be family no more. Tell them to take their corn, the goat's meat and their coconut and whatever hell they came from, and go back and have dinner with their own Thanksgiving families. Because I'm telling you, we failed by doing that. Now look at us. We're looked at as the lowest of the totem pole. When a third-class person or people can invade your community and become your superior, think about that. These people have become your superior. How, Shirley? They're in your grocery stores. They're in your markets. I told you earlier, for those who came in earlier in this thread, I gave you an example of a Jamaican woman versus an ADOS woman, and how they would hire the Jamaican over the ADOS woman, how the supervisors are usually from other countries. See, they've leveraged, and over the years, we have 20, 30, 40 years. Now look where we're at. We got a problem. How are we going to fix this? How are we going to fix this? You ain't. Let me tell you why you ain't going to get it fixed. Ain't going to fix. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to help you out. But you ain't got, I don't even need to ask you. Tell me why. I'm going to tell you why you ain't going to fix it. Because none of y'all exist. None of y'all want to acknowledge it, that it exists or that there is a problem. I'll wait. None of you guys want to acknowledge that there's a problem. I don't see what the problem. They're nice people. That ain't the point of who's nice and who's not nice. It's who's getting replaced. Hello? Who's getting replaced? Who's getting latitude? Who's getting leverage? Who's getting wealth? Does anybody in this chat room listen to me? Am I just talking to myself? I just want to know, does what I say make sense to you? Okay, hip hop is back again. I know our system of government is better than most in the US, and they don't know how to explore it. Okay. I'm not comparing America to third world countries. I have to compare America for what it is, because this is where I'm from. This is how I was bred and how I was raised and how I was led and how the blood of my people were grown and groomed in this country. I'm not like Queen of England. I'm not from England. I'm not from France. I may have descendants, which I do, from England and Ireland, but I'm not focusing on that aspect. I'm focused on the fact that when I'm 90% African, that means that I am a descendant of slaves. When I know that I'm 3 generations removed from slavery, I need to give credence to that. And in having that credence of knowledge, I need to explain that to white Americans, that I am more like you than I am of them. And I'm going to say them because when they speak of me and my people, African American descendants of slavery, they speak of me in a third person. So I'm going to put it right back on them and say, those people.
We will not go without a fight. We will stand united because we are the United States of America. 4 more years. 4 more years. Thank you so much. God bless you. Urban Game Changers. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Okay. I'm hoping we get 4 more years. I ain't going to lie to you. This is going to be a hell of a fight for white America. And I continue to say white America. Let me tell you why I say white America. Because black America too busy sleeping at the damn wheel. And the fact that did you know, now I don't know how much this is true because the numbers are weird because of how this outside foreign exposure and control of our voting tallies are being kind of exposed as Giuliani brings us to the table, if you agree or disagree. But did you know that 97 or 90% of black people, which are 45% demographics, voted for Joe Biden in DC? Look at those numbers up. Look at the demographics of blacks. You got 45% blacks in DC. I'm thinking to myself, Trump could have did some chicken dinners and got more votes than that. I don't get it. That Trump leadership for blacks for Trump and all them people up there talking about Trump, Trump, Trump. You needed to put some policies together for them last 4 years instead of just raving how much you love and want to lay hands on the president. That was the part that pissed me off. So I know I'm a twisted sister because the people may say, but surely you're for Trump. I am, because I still feel he is the better of the latter of the two. Politics is real simple. It's about money and numbers and the better of the two evils. If you look at it like that, you do better. What is politics about? Money and numbers, write that down, and the latitude of the two evils. Because both of them have something that you may agree or disagree upon. But if you realize what's going to work for the betterment of your life and your livelihood and your lifestyle, that is how you should vote. We have to get out of our emotions and we have to get back to the facts and the numbers that make sense. So for those who just chimed in, you need to go back to the beginning of this video and you need to dissect everything that I said to you. And especially for those who were smart enough to, I'm going to close on this. I want you to think in mind, you have 4 last names. The 4 last names are the 2 names from your father's side and the 2 names from your mother's side. If you know those names, you've passed step 1. Step 2 is you need to know the dates of their births. And then if you realize you're not past the emancipation debt, let's say that your mother was born in 1955, and then your grandmother was born in 1920. You got to keep going. You got to go all the way back to the emancipation. You got to go past and get into the 1800s. If you're blessed enough to, someone I think called me, just one of y'all said you were able to trace back to the 1700s. Woohoo! You did good. You did good. I think I got back to 1854. So you passed me. If you're able to go back as far as you can, go ahead and watch Henry Louis Gates, Find Your Roots. I think I've showed you that video before, but Henry Louis Gates, Find Your Roots. I want to show you one more thing, because some of y'all still don't believe me, and I want to have clarity in that. Because if you're able to have clarity and know who you are and what you bring to the table, when you have conversations, people can't make you feel stupid or infuriated, or that's the wrong word. People can't make you feel uncomfortable in knowing who you are. You know. Okay, here we go. Hold on. I'm gonna find this video. I think I even paid for this video. Hold on. Okay, so I'm gonna show you this one more time. This is a video I did on one of y'all before. Find Your Roots. Okay, look.
Nathaniel Lewis, place of birth, Pennsylvania. Elmira Lewis, place of birth, Ohio.
Slavery was abolished in Pennsylvania right after the American Revolution, and Ohio was a free state. You know what that means? Your great-great-grandparents weren't slaves. They were free.
That's unbelievable. Yo, that's like unbelievable.
They were not picking cotton, man.
My ancestors were free. It kind of like explains my mindset to me a little bit, you know, like, because I've never felt, inferior or superior for that matter to anyone.
Sure.
It's confusing too, because it's almost like I never at any point want, other African Americans to feel like I don't relate.
Oh, of course so.
You know what I mean? Because I absolutely do.
See, the more you know who you are, the better you are. But most of us don't know who we are. And that's a problem. He found out his family dated back to the early 1800s, which was really interesting.
Nathaniel Lewis, place of birth, Pennsylvania. Elmira Lewis, place.
Recently, LL and his mother, Andrea, connected with some of their newfound relatives.
I follow the NCIS religiously. You're on Monday at 10.
Yes.
Now I got a nephew.
Andrea met her half-sister, Claudia Lewis, who is LL's aunt. And they met Claudia's nephew, Thaddeus, who is LL's first cousin. Andrea's first cousin, Joan Lewis, was also there. She showed LL and his mom some old home movies, including footage of LL's great uncle showing his stuff in the ring.
That's Uncle Paul.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. He was the youngest Lewis brother.
Yeah, nice job. You getting busy. Those short hooks. That was amazing. That was unbelievable.
You're welcome.
That was unbelievable. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's crazy.
See, LL, that part of the story is that LL's grandparents on his mother's side, his mother didn't know she was adopted, but they did DNA, and then they found out that he was related to some other people. So it kind of shocked him. It kind of threw him off a curve when he said, "Oh my God, I didn't realize I was related to these people." I'll show you something else. Hold on. Find Your Roots. Let's see this. Let's look. I haven't seen this one.
Oh my God. Tingling right now.
I'm watching this for the first time with you.
Many African Americans assume that we'll never be able to learn anything about our ancestors who were enslaved. And for a long time, sadly, this was true. But because of recent exciting advances in technology and digitization, this is no longer the case. What's more, we have to remember then not all of our ancestors were enslaved. Though every African who was brought to America was brought as a slave, roughly 10% of our ancestors were freed by the start of the Civil War. So if you're descended from one of them, tracing your family history will be far easier than you ever imagined, since free people of all colors were listed by name in the federal census and on a wide variety of other public and legal documents.
Frank Owens, age 40, sex male. Lovey Owens, age 30, female.
Now, you just met your third great-grandparents, your great-great-great-grandparents. And Latifah, in 1860, they are listed by name in the census. So what does that mean?
That means they weren't slaves?
That means you descend from free Negroes. You descend from free people of color.
Thank you, Lord.
Realizing that so many of her relatives had been spared the horrors of slavery was profoundly moving to her. It also allowed us to trace her Black ancestry back into the 1700s, something we can almost never do, and to reveal in the end the rarest of all finds in African American genealogy, the document that freed her first ancestor.
Being conscientious of the injustice and impropriety of holding my fellow creature in state of slavery, I do hereby emancipate and set free. No way. No way. One Negro woman named Jug, who is about 28 years old, to be immediate free after this day, October 1st, 1792. Mary Old.
You're looking at the moment that your family became free.
I mean, what must that have been like to get this, to know this, to know that you are free?
You know, on September 30th, 1792, she was a slave.
Yep.
The next day, she was free.
It's all at once ridiculous and just so important. People still think that one person can't make a difference. One person made a difference.
Oh, big time.
To my whole entire family line. Mary Old, one person made a difference to my entire family line. That's crazy.
Ancestry.com. Sign up and learn your own history. Okay, somebody said something in the chat room. I'm gonna help you out. The question was, and I think this is a valid question that Carol's asking. Does that mean they don't deserve reparations? Yes, they deserve reparations, because even the Blacks who were freed slaves were not free. They still endured suppression and racial hatred. Even though they knew they were free, they were still not free. Even though we're free, are we still free? So they still had to deal with racism, hatred, bigotry, discrimination. They still had to deal with people stealing from them, stealing their intellectual ideas, their concepts. They still had to fight. They still contribute to this country. They still help build this country. There's still a contribution to the historical ramifications of this country, even if they were freed slaves. So yes, anyone who can prove their ancestry, in my mind, before the emancipation, if they were freed or not freed, but they were brought here as slaves or a freed slave, deserve reparations. Did that answer a lot of your questions? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? In the chat room, please do. Okay, Pam says, I don't fully agree with Gates. A descendants of slave is still, okay, hereditary. Oh, it's okay if you don't agree with him or disagree. This man provides facts. So before you throw rocks at this man, Pam, that's just a little clip. You need to watch a whole segment of the process that he goes through to breaking down your historical genealogy. There's a process of those 4 lines that I tell you. And then from those 4 lines, he breaks it down to you through the Census Bureau, through medical records, through military records, marriage certificates, death certificates, ledgers. You remember, we're commoditized good trades and service. So a lot of them Negroes had names, had numbers. These are all the things that are historically recorded that they're able to pull from. And then the DNA helps clarify a lot of the adoptions, because a lot of historical aspects of saying the line starts to change is because a lot of blacks, older blacks, took other people's children because they were killed or they couldn't raise them or they were taken away, and that child was left alone. And so they adopted that child, and that child never knew he really was not of the same DNA fabric of that family. That's what happened, kind of like with LL Cool J, if you watch the full story. Because there was one line, he thought that this man who raised his mother and them, they said, we always kind of know we look different, but we always felt like they were family. He said, those people are not your blood family. He says, oh, well, who are? He says, these people are. And that's the people you saw with LL Cool J sitting down learning about his great-grandfather was a boxer. And he said, no wonder I had an fascination with mama's going to knock you out. I'm going to knock you out. He says, I'm infatuated with boxing, and I couldn't know why, because it was in his DNA. It was on that side of his mother that he didn't know. So that gave a lot of people chills, even when I watched it, to watch his response to that. Does that make sense to a lot of people? Please put down yes, 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 yes. And think, or no, 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 no. Let me know if that makes sense to you before I close out, because I wanted to provide clarity for you. Carol says, thank you, Shirley. That's exactly what I thought. Okay. Carol again asked me, if you are a free slave, do you deserve reparations? And my answer was yes, because you still endured the plight of white America and how they treated you, even if you knew you were free and you had papers. Okay. So Donna Jones says yes. Carol says yes. Anybody else that say they understood? Prime said yes. Anybody else, yes or no? Do you have a clarity? Because I want you to have a clear understanding. It is important that you know who you are and what kind of Negro you are. So anyway, I thank you guys so much for watching me tonight. Coffee says, Brown says yes. Coffee 2 says yes. Thank you so much, Prime and Pam Jammin and Carol and all my moderators on tonight. Thank you guys so much. Daryl Boom, thank you for chiming in with your questions. You know, the bottom line is they're not going to do a revote. They may do a recount, but I really believe we're going to go to the Supreme Court. I believe that we are going to the Supreme Court. Kelly, 1983, I see you. And Nidra, I thank you so much. Daryl Boom, Simone, thank you so much for coming in. Matt Lean, again, many of you, Herb, always comes in, State Herm comes in. Those who came in early, those who came in late, some of y'all are just watching. That's okay. It's all good. The fact that you listened and hear my speech and heard my heart, that's what's more important. Please share this video on your social media platform and put the likes buttons. I don't have enough like buttons. There's about 40 to 50 people, you guys, who are in the chat room. At least take the time before you chime out. Just click the like button. Click the like button, because it alerts people and it lets YouTube know I still exist, and it makes a difference. So if you click the like button before you chime out and say, you know what, Shirley, I really like what you had to say tonight. I like this particular video. It made a difference in my mindset and in my concept of how I look at myself and how I look at white America and how you need to educate them and educate each other. We need to have conversations, not screaming matches, not name calling, not emotional attacks, but just conversations of clarity. And if you don't know, now you know. If you don't know, now you know. And I want you to know. I want you to be smart. I want you to be the smartest Negro in the room. I want you to know what kind of Negro you are. So when you stand before any culture of people, especially white people, and you tell them that you're not a immigrant or an illegal immigrant, that you're commoditized good trades and service, and you hold your head up proud. And if you're able to trace back like those black 2 Negroes were, they were free slaves. You're able to say, I never was a slave. My people were free. But we still endure the suppression and oppression of white America. but even though my people were free, you still are entitled to a form of reparations. God bless you. Make sure you like and subscribe. Like, subscribe, like, subscribe, like, subscribe, and get the thumbs up button and share with your friends and family. Let's pray for a better day and a better America. Stay tuned. Follow the president and find out what's going to happen with this election. Don't go by the media. Don't listen to the media. Go on Twitter. Listen to the president. Remember, right now, we are right before Thanksgiving. If you watch this video was taped right before Thanksgiving. They have not certified the votes. Okay, so there's no such thing as President Biden elect. There's no certification in these votes. They have to be certified, and then after they certify, everyone's got to put their final vote in from the college votes. So let's have clarity of how this country is ran, and because there's so much questioning on the process, I think we're going to the Supreme Court. So let's pay attention to white America because it's going to affect us. Talk to you soon. Good night.